Chapter 19. Author's Note. Please stop flaming the story if you do or a folk in prep and not jealous, okay? 1-1. From Nachen, I'm going to delete your men vows. 1-1-1. BTW, ever need a poor blood. So dare! 1. Thanks to Raven, Form M, the help. 1-1. All day we sat angrily thinking about Dumblydoor. We were so fucking pissed off. Well, I had one thing to look forward to. The MCR concert. It had been postponed, so we could all go. Anyway, I went to the common room sadly to cut classes. Draco was being all secretive. I asked what it was, and he got all mad at me and started crying all hot and angsty. Empty sensitive bag eyes are so hot. No one fucking understands me! 1, he shouted angrily, as his black hair went in his big blue eyes like Billy Joe and Boulevard of Borkin Dreams. He was wearing black baggy pants, a black MCR t-shirt, and a black tie. Get it? Instead of tie, 'cause I'm gothic. I was wearing a black leather low-cut top with chains all over it, a black leather mini, black high-held boots, and a cross-belly thing. My hair was all up in a messy, really high bun like Amy Lee in Gong Under. Email me if you want to see the pic. Accuse me? What about me? I growled. But, he grunted. You fucking bastard, I moaned. No, wait, it's not what it fucking looks like, he shouted. But it was too late. I knew what I heard. I ran to the bathroom angrily. Cring. Draco banged on the door. I whipped and wept as my bloody eyeliner streamed down my cheeks and made cool tears down my feces like Benji in the video for Girls and Boys. Raven, that is so our video. I took out a cigarette and started to smoke pot. Suddenly, Hagrid came. He had appeared. You gave me a fucking shock! I shouted angrily, dropping my pot. WTF you think you're doing in the girls' room? Only it wasn't just Hagrid. Someone else was with him too. For a second, I wanted it to be Tom Ridd or maybe Draco, but it was Dumblydoor. Hey, I need to ask you a question, he said, pulling out his black wannabe gothic purse. What are you wearing to the concert? You know who MCR are? I gasped. No, I just saw there was a concert that a lot of goths and punks were going to, he said. Anyway, Draco has a surprise for you. Chapter 20. Author's Note. I said I do not care what you think. Stop flaming. Okay, preps 1. Thanks to Raven for the help 1. Oh yeah, BTW, it'll be on vacation in Transylvania for the next 3 days, so do not expect updates. All day I wondered what the surprise was. Meanwhile, I put on a black leather mini, a black corset with purple lace stuff all over it, and black gothic compact boots. MCR were going to do the concert again since Volksamort had taken over the last one. I slit my wrists while I moshed to MCR in my bedroom all night feeling excited. Suddenly someone knocked on the door while I was trying on some black clothes and moshing to Fang You for the Venom. I got all mad and turned it off, but sacredly I hopped inside that it was Draco so we could do it again. What the fucking hell are you doing? I shouted angrily. It was Lupin. Are you gonna come rape me or what? I yelled. I was allowed to say that 'cause Dumblydoor had told us all to be careful around him and Snap since he was a pedo. No, act Shelley. Get it? Hell. Can I please borrow some condoms? He growled angrily. Yeah, so you can fuck your 6-year-old girlfriend, huh? I shouted sarcastically. Thicker, he said, gong away. Well, anyway, I put on some black eyeshadow, black eyeliner, and some black lipstick and white foundation. Then I went. Then I gasped. Snake and Lupin were in the middle of the empty hall doing it, and Dobby was watching 1. Oh my god, you ludicrous idiot! They both shooted angrily when they saw me. Dobby ran away crying. They got up, though. Normally I would have been turned on. I love seeing guys do it. But both of them were fucking preps. BTW Snake is morphed to Gryffindor now. WTF, is that why you wanted condoms? I asked sadistically. See, I spelled that. Only you wouldn't give them to me, Lumpkin shouted angrily. Well, you should have told me, I replayed. You dimwit, Snake began to shoot angrily. And then I took out my black camera and took a pic of them. You could see that they were naked and everything. Well, excuse me, they both shouted angrily. What was that all about? It was to blackmail you, I snarked. So now, next time you see me doing it with my boyfriend, you can't fucking rat me out or I'll show this to Dumblydoor. So fuck off, you bastards. I started to run. They chased me, but I threw my wound at them and they tripped over it. Well, anyway, I went outside and there was Vampire looking extremely fucking hot. WTF, where'd Draco? I asked him. Oh, he's being a fucking bastard. He told me he wouldn't come, Vampire said, shaking his head. You want to come with me? To the concert? Then he showed me his flying car. I gasped. It was a black car. He said his dogfather, Sirius Black, had given it to him. The license plate on the front said MCR 666 on it. The one on the back said NOB on it. I gasped. We flew to the concert hall. MCR were there, playing. Vampire and I began to make out, moshing to the music. I gasped, looking at the band. I almost had an orgasm. Gerard was so fucking hot. He began to sing Helena and his sexy, beautiful voice began to fill the hall. And then I heard some crooning. I turned and saw Draco, crying in a corner. Chapter 21. Author's note. Fuck you, okay? You fucking suck. It's not my fault if it's spelled wrong, okay, cause that big Raven cause it fuck you preps one. Oops, so's Raven. Thanks for the help. BTW, Transylvania rocks Hrad one. I even got to go to the castle where Dracula was filmed. Later, we all went in the skull. Draco was crying in the common room. Draco, are you okay? I asked in a gothic voice. No, I'm not, you fucking bitch! He shouted angrily. He started to run out of the place in a suicidal way. I stayed to cry, 'cause I was afraid he would commit suicide. It's okay, NOB, said Vampire comfortably. It'll make him feel better. You mean you'll go fucking want you? I shouted angrily. Then I ran to get Draco. Vampire came too. Draco, please come! He began to cry. Tears of blood came down his pale face. I was so turned on 'cause I love sensitive bi guys. If you're a homophone, then fuck off. And then we heard some footsteps. Vampire got out his black invincibility coke. We both got under it. We saw the janitor, Mr. Norris, there, shouting angrily with a flashlight in his hand. Who's there? He shouted angrily. We saw Filth come. He went under the invisibility cloak and started to meow loudly. Is anyone there? Shouted Mr. Norris. No, fuck you, you preppy little poser son of a fucking bitch, Vampire said under his breath in a disgusted way. Excuse me, who said that? Yelled Mr. Norris. Then he heard Filch meow. Filth, is there anyone under the cloak? He asked. Filth nodded. And then Vampire Frenched me. He did it just as Mr. Norris was taken off the cloak. 1. What the? He yelled, but it was too late 'cause we were now ruining away from him. And then we saw Draco crying and busting into tears and slitting his wrists outside of the school. Draco! I cried. Are you okay? I guess, though, Draco wept. We went back to our coffins, Frenching each other. Draco and I decided to watch Lake Placid. See, isn't that depressing? On the gothic red bed together. As I was about to put in the video, my eyes rolled up, and suddenly I had a vision of something that was happening now. There was a knock on the door, and Fug and the Mystery of Magic walked into the school. 1. Chapter 22. Author's note. STFU. Perhaps stop flaming, okay? If not, lick it fuck off. I know it's Mr. Norris. It's Raven's fault, okay? 1-1. You suck. 1. No, just kidding, Raven. You fucking rocks. Prep suck. 1. All day, Everyone talked about the misery of magic. Well, anyway, I woke up the next day. I was in my coffin, so I opened the door. I was wearing black lacy leather pajamas. Then I gasped. Standing in front of me were Bloody Mary, Vampire, Diablo, Draco, Dracula, and Willow! I opened my crimson eyes. Willow was wearing a tight black leather top with pictures of bloody roses all over it. Under that, she wore a black, poofy skirt with lace on it, and black Gothic boots that was attached to the top. Vampire was wearing a baggy Simple Plan t-shirt and baggy black pants and Vans. Draco was wearing a black MCR t-shirt and black jeans and a leather jacket. He looked just like Gerard Way, and almost as fucking sexy. Vampire looked like Joel Madden. Bloody Mary was wearing a tight black poofy Gothic dress that she had ripped so it showed of all her clearage, with a white apron that said Bic, and other swear words and MCR lyrics on it, kind of like one dress I had seen Amy Lee wear once. Darkness, who is Jenny, was there too. She was weaving a ripped Gothic black dress with ripped stuff all over it and a lace-up top thing and black pointy boots. So were Crab and Goyle. It turns out that Darkness, Diablo, Crab, and Goyle's dad was a vampire. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists with a razor. He had raped them and stuff before, too. They all got so depressed that they became Gothic and converted to Stanism. OMFG! I yielded as I jumped up. Why the fuck are you all here? Enemy, something is really fucked up, Draco said. Okay, but I need to put my fucking clothes on first, I shouted angrily. It's alright. We have to go now, and you look kawaii anyway. You're so fucking beautiful, Draco said in a sexy voice. Oh, alright, I said, smiling. But you have to tell me why you're being all erective. I will, he said. So I just put on some black eyeliner, black lipstick, and red eyeshadow and white foundation. Then I came. We all went outside the great hall and looked in from a window. A fucking prep called Brittany from Gryffindor was standing next to us. She was wearing a pink mini and a Hilary Duff t-shirt, so we put up our middle fingers at her. Inside the great hall we could see Dumbledore. Cornelia Fudge was there shouting at Dumbledore. Doris Rumbridge was there too. This cannot be! She shouted angrily. The school must be closed! The Bark Lord is planning to kill the students! Yelled Cornelia Fudge. You are not fit to be the principal any longer, yelled Rumbridge. You are too old and your Alzheimer's is dangerous. You must retry or Voldemort will kill your students. Very well, Dumbledore said angrily. But we cannot do this. We can't close the school. There's only one person who is capable of killing Voldemort, and she is in the school. And her name is Enemy Darkness Dementia Raven Way. Draco, Crab, Goyle, Darkness, Willow, Vampire, and Bloody Mary looked at each other. I gasped.